Alright, so what's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Now, it's been a few days since Call of Duty Next and the COD Modern Warfare 2 beta has started, and I did say that I was going to make a video on the day of Next and when the beta came out and all that kind of stuff. However, I wanted to take a different approach. I wanted to step back. I wanted to sort of absorb most of the information that came from Modern Warfare 2 and just talk about it through weekend 1. So obviously, I'm an Xbox player, so I haven't had a chance to play this beta yet. I am downloading it on my PlayStation currently for the open beta on the PlayStation. I'll be playing that later tonight and probably also tomorrow as well, a little bit, not too much. But next weekend, when the beta starts, or this Thursday, whenever it is, I'm going to be playing it a shit ton on Xbox. So my in-depth review for Modern Warfare 2's beta will be coming at the end of this next weekend. But just from watching gameplay, watching the Next event, and watching other people's reviews on this game, I have a few things that I want to talk about. So as sort of my initial review of Modern Warfare 2 without playing it, but with other people's opinions and my opinions on things I haven't experienced. I don't know, it's kind of a weird video, but here we are. You're probably looking at the title wondering why I'm being positive and negative at the same time, when I've pretty much always been positive when talking about Modern Warfare 2. I've been hyping it up pretty much ever since we heard about it. It's, you know, its conception, and we'll get into that later on. I've got a list of good and bad things that the most important to me from Modern Warfare 2 so far. I'm going to have this list more fleshed out by the end of the next beta weekend, but for now, this is my list. So let's start with the good, and the first thing that pops out to me are the graphics and the color palette. Now, obviously, with Modern Warfare's engine, the graphics are going to be phenomenal, but the main thing for me this year is the color palette of Modern Warfare 2. It looks so much more vibrant and brighter than Modern Warfare 2019. I think that's a lot of people's main concern with that game, was that most of the maps are like grey factories, you know, just sort of miserable sort of looking maps. But this year they've made them look a lot better, a lot more vibrant, which is just something that helps. I don't know, it just sort of it has a better feeling to it when the game is more vibrant and colorful. It makes you sort of happier playing the game in the subconscious way. I don't really know how to describe it, but you probably know the feeling if you've played on Modern Warfare 2019. It can be a bit depressing sometimes. But anyway, props to them for that. Now, next up we have the Gunsmith 2.0. This is definitely a massive plus. So the way that it was leaked before, not even leaked, this was coming from creators that had been to Infinity Ward Studio to hear about this game. There was this thing where they had these sliders, the different attachments, and there was like, you could have 6 attachments, then like 2 other attachments, and the 2 extras would have sliders or something. It was so weird. But it seems like what they've done is they've just reverted it back to the 5 attachments, which I think is fantastic. And on top of that, they've got this platform / receivers system. So basically, you have the M4, and within the M4, with that platform weapon, you can branch off and make different weapons. So you can have an M16, there's the, I think, FSS Hurricane or something like that. There's a LMG as well, like a 5.56 something. I can't remember what it's called exactly, but basically, from one weapon, you have a tree of different weapons that you can unlock in that weapon, which I think is really cool. It's a very good idea. However, I'm just wondering whether those weapons within the M4 are going to count as their own separate weapons. So if you look at a list of LMGs, for example, is the M4's LMG variant going to class as an LMG in its separate section? Because if it is, then that sort of defeats the purpose of the M4 having its own progression of having multiple weapons, if that makes sense. I don't really know if I've explained that too well. But the other thing as well is the universal attachments thing. So let's say you unlock a stipple grip tape for the M4. Let's say you level that up and you've unlocked stipple grip tape. I don't know if that's even in the game, but if you unlock that thing, you've unlocked that if it's on other weapons for every single weapon in the game. So it's things like sights, muzzles, I think maybe ammunition types, grips, that kind of stuff. Those things I believe are universal across every single gun in the game. However, something like a barrel is going to be unique to the weapon tree. For, let's say, the M4, you have a longer range barrel. You will unlock that for every single weapon in the tree, but not universally across the classes, if that makes sense. Like Infinity Ward said when they first revealed this, it just cuts down on that grind and sort of repetitiveness of unlocking stipple grip tape for 27 different weapons. This just makes it a lot easier, and it also makes a lot more sense if you think about it. Like, if you get a stipple grip tape in real life, you can put that on any weapon. You couldn't just put it on an M4 then have to get another one for a different gun. You know, it just makes sense. Obviously, we don't know anything about camouflages and how that's going to work, and just our progression in general, things like prestige or anything like that. So far, it seems like they're doing very good on the progression and mastery front. However, we're not going to fully know that until prestiges and camouflages are fully shown to us, essentially. Now, the next thing is kill streaks and score streaks are basically interchangeable in this game. So if you want to use score streaks, so, you know, you earn points towards your kill streaks, then you can do that. If you want kills to be the way you unlock your streaks, you can do that. It's literally just a flick of the button. It's not a perk. It's not a strike package or whatever. It's just its own thing. You can choose whether to have kill streaks or score streaks, which I think is the smartest thing, almost, well, one of the smartest things they've ever done in COD history, because it just makes so much sense. Some people prefer kill streaks. Some people prefer score streaks. I think it just depends really on what kind of player you are. If you're someone who doesn't really play objective that much, you might want to go for kill streaks. If you're someone who bums off domination, you capture the flags, score streaks makes more sense. Not only that, the kill streaks themselves seem really cool this year. There's some returning ones like the Juggernaut, AC-130. There's some new ones, the Stealth Bomber, which obviously we've seen before in COD, but not in Modern Warfare 2019, but they're in this game now. I think there's about 19 streaks in total as well, which is a brilliant variety in my opinion. I'm not going to sit here and go through all of them, but they all seem very good, very interesting, and I can't wait to use them. Now, just from what I've seen, this game seems like a really, really nice blend between Modern Warfare 2019 sort of realistic, smooth feeling, and a classic Call of Duty arcadey feel, if that makes sense. So it doesn't look as buttery smooth, as realistic and sort of gritty, I guess, as Modern Warfare 2019, but it has that, you know, the animations and stuff have that aspect, but also, like, even just with the running animations and that kind of stuff, and just sort of, like, it looks, I don't want to describe this in a bad way, but, like, say, when you go from a slide into a sprint, it looks a little bit more, like, janky, if that makes sense, but in a good way, like, an arcadey way, instead of it making it all, like, look as realistic as possible when it slows down the game. It's just, it has that more arcadey, less realistic feel to it, which I think is fantastic. Obviously, it keeps the, you know, buttery smooth Modern Warfare 2019 thing, but it has a original COD flair to it, which I think is really good. It seems like this year camping isn't as empowered as it was from Modern Warfare 2019, but we are going to talk about this a little bit later, because there are a few things that do help campers, and if you guys know me, I don't think campers should be empowered at all, but whatever. We're going to move on that into the bad section. Another plus is slide and dolphin dive. A lot of people have been asking the dolphin dive to come back for years now. I think the last time we saw it actually probably was Black Ops 2. So it's been a long time. Actually, no, it would have been World War 2. I don't remember. But anyway, the slide and dolphin dive both being in, and you can choose whether to tap to slide or hold to dolphin dive, is brilliant. And not only that as well, the dolphin dive doesn't look like a gimmicky, useless thing. You gain some height, you gain some distance. You can dolphin dive through windows. It has that much height, so if you want to get to cover, it just seems like a nice addition, which I think is great. The spectating cam is a really cool, unique take as well. The way it's like a helmet cam. So like if you saw a soldier in real life, they'd have like a camera on their helmet. That's kind of how it is in Modern Warfare 2. So you have that helmet cam. However, I think there should be a toggle option between this and just the normal POV. Although I love the uniqueness of this, sometimes, maybe more so in Warzone, but you might want to see if someone's cheating, and you can't really tell that from a helmet cam. I think that's the main thing that they should add a toggle option for, but not only that, you might not even want to see the helmet cam. You might just prefer the POV, which I think is reason enough to add a toggle option. I think it's definitely possible. Anyway, let's move on to the bad. Now, I just want to preface this by saying I haven't played this game yet. I have not had the opportunity to play Modern Warfare 2, so I'm not gonna put too much bad in here just from other people's experiences. I'm going to put in what I truly believe is bad and should be removed from the game. And if I'm being honest, pretty much all of this list is from Modern Warfare 2019 brought over to Modern Warfare 2, so this is going to be quite quick. The first thing, no red dots on the minimaps. Like, why are we doing this again for another fucking year? I don't understand. It's quite interesting as well, because when all the creators went out in June to play Modern Warfare 2, they had the red dots on the minimaps enabled, and Infinity Ward apparently said that was a bug, and they're going to be removing that, so there's no red dots on the minimaps. But almost everyone, I think everyone who was there, said that it was good. It helped with the pace of the game, and it was just a lot better overall. So if you invite these people out to test your game and give their opinions on the game, and they're going to give you a bit of advice, and then you're going to ignore that advice and carry on with your ideas anyway, that's just fucking ignorant. I don't care. That is actually just ignorant from Infinity Ward. I don't know why they've done this. Like, you know, throughout the whole of Modern Warfare 2019, people are complaining about this and saying this is terrible. They never fixed it. Fair enough, but they could have at least changed it for the sequel. I think that's fucking stupid in my opinion. And the next thing, Dead Science is a field upgrade. Why? Why is this a thing? Why? You know, some people are going to look at this and be like, it's not that big of a deal, but it's just some small things that just irritate me. And this is what it was with Modern Warfare 2019. Like, it was not necessarily a couple big issues. It was just tons and tons of small issues that, you know, snowballed into just a lot of people hating this game, and it's just annoying. And Dead Science being a field upgrade is definitely one of them. Even if they made it a perk and a field upgrade, so you could choose whether you wanted to take up the field upgrade slot, which you could have a bit more powerful stuff, but you know, you weren't taking up a perk slot, or you can take up a perk slot if it's that important to you. And I think this is something they really need to look at. They did it for Vanguard, I'm pretty sure, where it was a perk and the field upgrade. I don't know why they can't do it for this game as well. Another thing as well, there's no map voting in Modern Warfare 2. Why? Why is there no map voting? I assume it has something to do with skill-based matchmaking, disbanding lobbies, bullshit. But why is there no map voting? Like, come on, man. At least give us what we had in Modern Warfare 2. I think it was Modern Warfare 2, where you'd vote to skip it. Why can't we just have something like that instead of just bunny hopping lobbies, you know, backing out, joining lobbies? Another small thing, scoreboards are not showing deaths. I don't see what the point is. Like, what is it, to stop toxicity in your games? Because realistically, COD fans are going to be toxic no matter what. And that's just the foundation of Call of Duty it was built on. You know, I don't see the point of trying to stop this by removing deaths. So I want to see how well I'm doing in halfway through a match. Why do I have to wait till the end? What's the point? And then you're going to set what? You're going to set it to me into a watch again in this game? Like, fuck off, Infinity Ward. Honestly, you're so dumb. Another small thing as well, the flying animation from Modern Warfare 2019, it's back. They had this in Vanguard in the beta. They removed it after the first weekend. So I'm hoping that Infinity Ward do this as well, but they are stubborn bastards, so I doubt they will. It's just, once again, it's a small thing. I know, it's not a massive deal. It's like 1 or 2 seconds, but it's like with Black Ops 4, when every time you had to respawn, you had to pick your spawn point, but there was only the one spawn point, so it was just an extra button to press, an extra sub-menu to go through to get back into the action, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're wasting 2 seconds every time you die, and you die 30 times, that's a minute wasted looking at a fucking menu, or looking at a camera flying. Like, it looks cool, don't get me wrong, but what's the point? It adds nothing to the game, it just slows it down. So that's everything that was from Modern Warfare 2019 that's in this game that I don't like. The final thing I'm going to talk about in the bad section, this isn't something from Modern Warfare 2019, it's something brand new, and it's the perk packages. So the way that the perks work this year is you have 2 perks to begin with. So let's say you have like double time and scavenger. You spawn in with those 2 perks. The next perk you unlock after around about 4 minutes of game time, which can be reduced by getting kills or capturing objectives, that kind of stuff. So the third perk you'll earn later on in the game. And then you can have a 4th perk, which you earn even later on in the game. I think it's around about 8 minutes of game time, which also can be reduced by kills and scores and that kind of stuff. And then after that time, you'll unlock your 4th perk. It's a sort of interesting idea, and I appreciate the innovation from Infinity Ward, but I just don't see the point. It seems useless. What they've done, essentially, is... Another thing that's really annoying in that as well, even though Ghost is one of the ultimate perks, one of the final things that you can unlock in the perk packages, it still works the same way as Modern Warfare 2019. So it basically means if you're sat in a corner like a dumb fuck dogshit camper you are, you're not going to be on the radar when someone calls in the UAV, which is extremely stupid. One of the most annoying things I've ever seen. And this tweet from Joe Seacott here, it's quite an old one, but this is their design philosophy on keeping Ghost powerful. He says, keeping Ghost powerful gives players less adept at moving and shooting an option. So basically what he said, it gives worse players an opportunity to kill people. The desire to carry on playing a game like Call of Duty should be to get better. You know, I remember the days where, you know, you'd see someone who's Prestige Master, you know, he was max rank, he'd be running around getting like, you know, 5 KDs, whatever. You'd look at him and be like, I want to be like him, I want to get better. And you would do that by just continually playing the game, learning movements and gunplay and, you know, accuracy and that kind of stuff. But nowadays, it looks like all you need to do is throw on a perk and you can do as good. It's just fucking stupid, man. They've taken a core feature of Call of Duty, they've locked a portion of it away and made you re-earn it through game time. Like, I just don't see the point, personally. Once again, I prefer the I appreciate the innovation from Infinity Ward. That's why I'm not up in arms shouting about it, saying that it's terrible. At least they tried something different, and I can respect that. But I just don't think it's for me. I would rather spawn in with my free perks. I think, to be honest, as well, having the two perks, 2 perk 1s, and then a perk 2 and perk 3. It was a good idea when I heard that leaked. So, perk 1s were just, like, small game benefiting things, like double time, scavenger, you know, small things that would help and benefit your gameplay. It was sort of like a playstyle preference sort of perk. And then the next 2 were, like, your normal perks, like your Ghost and Hardline and High Alert, that kind of stuff, which were a bit more powerful, but you had perk 2 and perk 3, so you can only take one of them, whatever. And I think that is just... that was a brilliant idea, but they've done this thing where you can slowly earn your perks in game. Nah, I'm good. If you could change this, I'd be really happy, but it's Infinity Ward once again. I don't think they're going to. But anyway, that's going to do it for today's video. That's everything I want to talk about in Modern Warfare 2's beta so far. Once again, I'm going to be doing an in-depth full review on the game after the second weekend, because that's when I would have the most game time. But yeah, I'm still looking forward to this game despite all these negative things. I'm still really, really hyped to this game, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it on October 28th. So, thank you guys very much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe if you're new around here. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.